Natford Station is the first station on the main line. It is also one of the oldest stations, so it holds many parts of Sodor's railway history, including an engine. Tucked away behind the station on its own little podium is Lily, one of the oldest engines on Sodor, who used to work on the Welshford and Sudrian line. She is now a museum piece in the parking lot of Natford Station. Good evening, Lily.
Ah, oh, good evening, Gordon. What brings you round here?
Well, you know what happens in Thatford Sheds.
I don't, what happened to it?
Oh, those two tender-engine twins, of course. And Scruffy as well. They knocked down the shed. And to make matters worse, the Fat Controller is making me shunt my own coaches because I was rude to another engine.
Oh, getting into trouble again, Gordon. Well, I'm not surprised.
Oh, don't tell me you're sympathetic to that faceless...
And now I understand why the Fat Controllers put you on shunting duties. If only you would understand, Gordon, you'd be a much better engine.
Pa! I was expecting you to understand my plight, Lily. I've earned respect and sympathy through my trials.
Sympathy and respect can only go so far, Gordon. You don't want to end up like Smudger now.
Excuse me for asking, but who is Smudger?
An engine who had an excuse for everything, till people became tired of their excuses. In fact, I'll tell you the story, Gordon, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two.
And this is the story Lily told. Not too long ago, there was a narrow gauge railway. It was run by many engines. Many came and went, but many stayed. Some to note were John, Stuart, Falcon, and Duke, the most respected engine on the line. He had just arrived at Arsdale then, with a line of empty coal trucks ready to be filled.
Morning, Duke,
said a young Lily. Good morning, my dear. I see you've brought us some more coal. Ever since the mines have gone dry, we've been very short on it. Suddenly, Lily spotted a weird-looking engine being unloaded from a lorry.
Excuse me, Duke, but who is that?
That'll be Smudger, my dear. He's a new engine, though I'm not very keen on him. Apparently, he served during the First World War. But I don't really trust these American types.
You never like anything foreign, do you?
I'll hold out hope for him, Lily, but not too much.
I'll give him some time, Duke, and he'll be a great worker.
After his coal trucks were filled, Duke left for the sheds, leaving Lily to make acquaintances with the new engine, who was riding very roughly. Afternoon, ma'am, said Smudger.
Afternoon. You should really be careful on the small rails. You might fall off it if you go too fast. You Brits always worry and worry. In the States, however, we don't care for a few spills. Now, if you don't mind, I got some work to get to.
And he puffed away.
We care about it here, though,
Lily whispered. Meanwhile, at Arsdale Sheds...
Hey, Stuart. I think the new engine's just arrived. Oh, well, I think he has. He does look a bit funny, like. He's an American. Of course he looks a bit funny. You talking about me? Oh, nothing bad, like. Well, the easy way to put it would be...
What he means to say is
he's just a bit surprised at the look of you. Very boxy, like. Well, when you're working with a box of scraps in the trenches, well, you don't have time to look pretty. Oh, so you did serve, said Stuart. I sure did. I served for about 5 years till the war ended.
And then, John puffed in.
Hold on a second,
said Duck, who just arrived.
I've met Stuart and Falcon, and they told me all about their adventures on the Mid-Sodor Railway, and they've said nothing about an engine named John. Be quiet, you.
The story's getting interesting.
Well, anyway, you must be the new engine.
John said very cheerfully. Unfortunately, Smudger wasn't so cheerful. Yeah, I'll get small fries. It was obvious that Smudger did not like being interrupted.
Was it something I said?
Smudger was making good time up to the mines, but that was mostly because he was speeding. This place sure does look lovely. Better than that old shed for sure. He then arrived at the station near Casney Harwin, where he met another engine. One that looked quite peculiar. He puffed up to the weird-looking engine when suddenly...
Jesus Christ, man! What is it? Is it a fire? Is it a runaway train? There's a face on your bunker, man!
The engine just stared for a second before just laughing.
Oh, that's just... Okay, so I'm Cody, and that's Fel.
Well, excuse me, but, righto. So we never have a bad lookout. We look out for each other, the coaches help us too. Now you better get off the way you're supposed to be. There's work to be done. Don't mind him, Smudger. He's just a little strict, as all. I don't trust that engine. Oh, shut up. You don't like anybody. Not too long later, Smudger arrived at the...
Engines with two faces?
How did you get here?
Is that real?
Aye, Percy. They have two faces, one at the back, one at the front, so they can see where they're going. Silence! Okay. Fine. Does anybody else want... I'd like to listen. Okay. Please. Okay. You may continue. Smudger arrived at the mines. He met Duke.
Hey, Dookie.
Excuse me? What did you just call me? Duke asked.
Duke. It's what your nameplate says, right?
Impudent scallywag. Anyway, I need you all to shunt the trucks here. Once they are filled with stone, you will organize my train and I will take it down to Arsdale End.
Come on, Duke. Man, I can take this by myself. I don't need you doing it for me.
It's not that you can't, Smudger. It's just you're not ready yet.
I'm ready for anything, Duke. Bombshells, bullets, you name it. I'm ready for it.
And he promptly fell off the rails.
Dang it.
Oh, ready for anything, you'll say? Well, you better be ready for a cold night in.
Shut your trap.
As much as I would like to say that these didn't become a usual occurrence, they did. Smudger would seem to fall off the tracks any time given. And although some may have given him sympathy, a lot of them just wanted to laugh at him. And although most of his accidents were caused by his wheel gauge being different, a lot more seemed completely unexplainable. Almost comical, even. Although, he did get his fair share of near misses, some of which nearly landed him in serious trouble. Even Duke, who found it funny at first, was now getting concerned at the amount of accidents happening.
I still think he has a chance, so I think we should give him the time.
It has been 5 months. That engine is only full of 2 things. Excuses and problems. And he cannot get enough of them. I just don't understand why we don't just send him away at this point.
But he served our country, Duke. He fought in the war.
How long did he say he fought for?
He said about 5 years.
That doesn't make any sense.
What about it?
Oh, never mind, Stuart. Where is that impudent scallywag anyway?
Oh, I think he made the goods train down to Arsdale End.
Oh. You just know he's crashed it by now. And indeed he had. Somehow, he had fallen off the tracks and was now blocking Lily's way.
Is this some sort of joke to you?
Excuse me?
You heard me. All this rushing about and crashing everywhere. Are you not grateful for what you have? A railway that actually cares about you? You make it sound like I like it. You think I like falling off the rails? Bashed and smashed all over the place. I hate it. Oh, woe is you. You cause trouble, confusion, and delay everywhere you go. and yet you still find yourself the victim. 'Cause I am! I'm not built for these rails, and yet they still expect me to do my work when I'm falling off all the time. Just get your wheels fixed. I can't. Why? I said I can't. Well, now it just sounds like another one of your excuses, Smudger. Lady, you got no idea what we gotta deal with on this little railroad. You're just complaining, Smudger. You've got it perfectly fine on that little railway. Go ask anyone. Albert, Jennings. Ask any of them. I bet they're having a great time. Jennings was sent for scrap 5 weeks ago. What? Yeah. Atlas, Jim, all of them. Albert died in a mine explosion. We're running on a skeleton crew, and by the looks of it, I'm gonna be next. If any part of me breaks, I'm done for. The only reason I stuck around is because my parts are together. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Hey, feel sympathy for them, but not for me. 'Cause I don't deserve it. But you fought for this country. The war. That's the reason. 'Cause I need to tell you something about that.
No good. No good at all.
You think I deserve sympathy now? Smudger, you do deserve sympathy. And while I don't agree with what you've done, I understand. And I was wrong to say you have it easy here. This place is like a dystopian nightmare.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Listen, I got a question. Do you think I'm a good person?
I believe you want to be a very hard-working engine, Smudger. You just need to slow down a bit. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have your moment to show the world how useful you can be.
Smudger just hoped she was right. Later that week, Smudger came across a train at one of the stations, though it had no engine.
What's going on here, then?
This train's meant for the top station, but Falcon here is broken down. So now we're stuck.
Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad.
Falcon worried. If the controller finds out that I've delayed the train and broken down, he's sure to send me away next. Oh, Smudger, you must take it for me. Maybe if it arrives on time, he won't send me away. And Smudger agreed.
No promises, buddy. But I'll try.
And he did. He took the coaches and set off, taking extra care to make sure he didn't fall off the rails this time. Now it should be known that ever since an incident involving Falcon, Duke, and a mountainside, Cody was the only engine allowed to take trains up the mountains. Unfortunately, no one told Smudger about this arrangement, though he began to feel the stress once he started climbing the mountain.
Jeez Louise! How do they do it up here?
One thing Smudger did not think about before taking the train was his state. His couplings were old and rusty and hadn't been replaced in months. It was no surprise what happened next.
Holy heck!
Smudger yelled. The coaches were now running down the line and gaining speed, and things got worse as Cody was coming up the line. I hope he's come up to the next station at least. Makes my trip down a little easier. Hang about. What's that?
What the hell is coming down our line? Oh! Oh dear.
As fast as they were going, as soon as they got down the hill, they were on level ground, so they started to lose speed. Luckily, Duke was down the line and was getting ready to stop them by matching their speed. And then, he caught them. Now it's up to him to stop them. And finally, Duke stopped the train. Dangling over the edge, his tender fell down and crashed. Though the train had been stopped, it had caused quite the mess. Most of the engines on the mid-Sodor now were damaged and needed to be repaired. Needless to say, the manager was not happy. Falcon, could you care to explain why your train ran away?
Well, it's very difficult to explain that.
Just then, Smudger arrived.
It was my fault, sir. I lost the train.
Smudger. Oh, I should have known. You've been a continuous issue on this railway for so long. And now you've put two of my best engines in the works. Oh, Smudger. But don't you worry, because I will find a way to make you useful to me. One way or the other. Although Smudger liked the idea of being useful again, for some reason, he didn't much like it now. Smudger helped Stuart get the engines down to Arsdale End, though Duke was grumbling to himself.
What is it, Grandpa?
That engine. That engine is the reason for all of this. Now, Duke, I think we have bigger things to worry about than that little engine, Bell added.
Yes, Duke. Besides, it was an accident.
Well, if we didn't give that engine a chance, we wouldn't be like this. He's nothing but an impudent scallywag. We gave away Jennings for this. He's a failure and a liar.
What? Duke? What do you mean by liar? What did he lie about?
Duke breathed in and said, he never fought in the war. He didn't even leave the place it was built. He was army surplus and was never used. He's been playing us for our sympathy. Needless to say, after that revelation, the engine's opinion on Smudger changed for the worst.
Smudger. Huh? Yeah? What happened, Smudger? A lot. A lot happened. But all I can say is, manager's gonna make me useful again. And, to be honest, it sounds worse than being sent away. Well, it's best to be optimistic at this time. It's not like he's gonna get rid of you or anything, seeing as you're one of the only engines working here.
Smudger looked down at his buffers, and then said,
Are we friends? I wouldn't say we're enemies, so... Yes, Smudger, you are my friend. Thank you kindly, Lily. Anyways, I gotta go. See you around. And Smudger went back to the sheds to see what the manager wanted.
About a week later, when most of the engines were fixed, Lily was waiting at the transfer yards for Duke, who looked very disturbed.
Duke? Duke, what's wrong?
I didn't want this. I didn't want that at all. This just led to more questions.
Duke, you're scaring me. What happened?
He stayed quiet for a bit before speaking. The manager's cruel, Lily. I just wanted him to be sent away. But he had other ideas for him, you'll see.
Duke? What happened to Smudger?
Lily, I'm so very sorry. I never meant for this.
Duke, I'm asking this once. Where is Smudger? The manager made it a cruel joke that he'd never move again, and he never did. Even when the railway closed.
The engines were in shock at such a gruesome tale.
That's just horrifying,
Duck added.
Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. It was meant to be a teaching lesson for Gordon, but I tend to ramble on sometimes about the details.
No, Lily, it's fine. It's clear that story holds some weight on you and you really wanted to tell it. We understand. And Percy added,
Well, at least now we all know the truth about Smudger, and he doesn't have to be remembered as a failure.
Indeed, Percy, Donald added. We know him now as a charming engine and a hard worker. This did make Lily happy. Although she felt sad for Smudger's fate, she was happy in knowing that everyone would remember him as a good engine.
Shut up.
Ugh, damn bird.